record on this computer. All right. Okay. Just need to wait a minute or two while the slideshow starts. Well, I'd like to welcome, ladies, you to our next module of Authentic Offers that Transform and Sell, and our Module 3, where we're looking at our avatar and what you've been finding there, and then offer creation. So our focus today really is on creating your offer. So this is the second part of the people module within my program. It's such a big part that we're going to be running this over a couple of weeks. But today we're really focusing on creating your authentic offer so that people will buy. And in this, I'm going to teach you how to also anticipate and deal with objections so you can make more sales. And I'll also be talking with you about when we do this, it'll allow you to create content that's going to be appealing to your people, and it means that you're not going to be wasting a lot of time, effort and money on creating content and things that don't work. So today, before I get into speaking about the offer, I just wanted to, just do a quick roundup on your avatar work. So by now, or once by the time you're getting to work into this module in terms of creating your aligned offer, you're going to be taking the material that you've been doing from your research process, so from your surveys or interviews or both of those, and you'll have got caught up with last week's module where you'll be looking at creating your avatar. So just a summary of who your audience member is. So that's a really that's a key point that you'd probably like to have done before you start then moving into creating this offer, because you're going to use the information from that work to create your offer for that audience. Last week, we also had you look at your niche, so making sure that your audience was, that you had a problem that you could solve for your audience, that you could, those people were accessible to you, so you could market to them in some way, and that they had some money to pay you. So by this point, by the time we're coming to create an offer, you've answered those questions. You've got a sense of who your audience members are, what their key issues are, what their key concerns are, and then we now start looking at and what they're looking for, what solutions that they're looking for. So we bring all of that together to create an aligned offer to them, which I've sort of packaged up here as a really beautiful pink gift box, which I love this image. So how do we create an aligned offer? Well, what is an aligned offer to start off with? When I talk about an aligned offer, I'm talking about you making basically a sales proposition to your clients that solves a specific problem for them and delivers a specific result for them. So this is where so basically in your audience research, you might have found that your audience have got, let's take Mary's example. So one of the issues that Mary's audience may face in terms of lipstick is lipstick bleeding. So there you go, I'm in the target market and that's my issue. So if Mary knows that that is an issue, then she's in a position to say, okay, well, I've got a solution for you in terms of this quality lip liner or whatever product she has. But if you see there, I've focused on a specific problem that I have, and then I'm looking there for Mary's product to deliver a specific result. So it becomes transformational. The reason that I use the term aligned offer is because we're all about authentic marketing. So to put yourself out there in a way that doesn't feel salesy, in a way that feels very authentic and very natural, and in a way that allows you to serve your audience. So that's why we're focusing on problems that our audience have and then a solution we can give them. And we're also drawing in here your unique experience, your innate wisdom and experience that you have. So basically what we're doing here is we're bringing in all of you. And you'll remember last week I spoke about the fact that we need to embrace all of you rather than keeping certain parts of you away, because that is not an aligned offer. People, you'll find, and this has been my exact experience, you'll find that people can't, your energy isn't in a right alignment in terms of making that offer to them, and people will pick up that energy. This is where we've got marketing tactics, which I'm teaching you, and marketing strategy, which I'm teaching you. And then there's this other element around the energetic alignment that you need to have around your offer. And when those two things come together, you've got a very powerful offer that will resonate with people and they will buy from you. The other thing that an aligned offer does is that it deals with objections. And I'm going to speak in some detail about these today, but the specific kind of objections that people have are things along the lines of typically around, I don't have the time for that, I don't have the money for that, it's too hard. I'm going to show you how we deal with that today. And the other thing that we do to have for a really good aligned offer is we have something special that will help our audience say yes today to us. So that's what an aligned offer looks like. And the key thing here is that it is really all about, it is really about what is it that you do in your product or service that is transformational? What is it that you're doing that can create a simple yet very fundamental change for your audience? It doesn't have to be, again, this is what I say to my clients all the time, with your offer, you don't need to solve all of the problems that your clients are facing. So you might have found in your audience research that there's possibly not one, but there might have been 2 or 3 issues that have arisen that reveal themselves in that research. And so I guess I want to be very clear here, when you're talking about making an offer to your audience, just seek to solve one problem at a time. So if there is one issue that's arisen, then, and I'll take Mary's example because I've looked at her survey work. So her product is focusing on lipstick, but she's also got other products coming into her range around anti-aging. So she's asking some questions about what concerns you about aging and why, and so on and so forth. So her survey is actually revealing, 2 or 3, possibly even 4 problems that she might identify. Now, and that's likely with all of you, that your survey might identify or reveal, 2 or 3 problems. With this first offer that you're going to make, just focus on one. If you try and solve all of those problems, the offer will become confusing. It won't be easy for your audience to hear, and it won't be easy for them to understand, and they will be less likely to buy. But if you come in on the most significant issue that they've raised, so there might have perhaps 3 issues that they've raised, but you can see one's very dominant, then that's the issue or the problem that I would start with. So just wanted to really make that clear. But the system that I'm teaching you here, and the process that I'm teaching you here, is one that you'll be able to use again and again and again. Every time you want to make an offer, you can come back to this module and you can look at it and say, okay, how do I put this together? And it's very simple and straightforward. So that's what it's all about. Just one simple yet fundamental change for your audience. We're not trying to, build Rome in a day. We're not trying to do anything like that. And certainly one of my experiences has been that I can put too much information into my materials. So I have to really just slow myself down a little bit sometimes. And I just need to say, okay, just one thing at a time, one offer at a time, and then work through from that. I'm just going to ask for just a moment. Little Lucy's trying to get into the room with me, so I'm just going to let her in because she's scratching at the door. Just one sec. You come, quick. It's here. Thank you for that. That just makes it easier for everybody. Alrighty. So when I talk about offers, so this is one that I've spoken about before, and I think it's a really useful offer to share with you again because it's so clean and clear. So Betty Rocker, she calls herself the Betty Rocker. She has her 30-day body weight challenge. So and her offer is transform your body in just 15 minutes a day, no equipment required. So basically what she's saying here is that I will help you deal with your body weight in just 15 minutes a day with no equipment required. When you go scroll down further on this website, you'll see all of her before and after shots, which are pretty compelling. And I have signed up for this body weight challenge because I think it's really good in terms of being fit and toned. She's also giving you a clue here that it's about exercise and about healthy eating, but this is, to me, a very, very good offer. This is also another nice one that I like. So accounting software. I don't know about you, but numbers probably aren't my favorite thing. But I'm an entrepreneur and I'm in business and I need to have a good piece of accounting software. And when I came across FreshBooks, I love the offer that they're making. So small business accounting software that makes billing painless. So and if we look at the all-new FreshBooks as accounting software that makes running your small business easy, fast, and secure. Spend less time on accounting and more time doing the work you love. So for most of us, we really probably want to spend more time doing the work that we love, and we don't, but we know we need to get our billing out, get our invoices in. So we want something that's going to make our billing painless. So this to me is another really clever offer in that it's dealing with the issues that I have. Yes, I need to, as a small business owner, I need to have good accounting software, but I don't want to spend a lot of time dealing with it. And I don't want to spend a lot of time operating with it. This, just for your reference, this is an American piece of American software. It's not something that I'd be recommending using in Australia, but I did like their positioning, which is why I'm sharing it today as part of the class. So the key thing here is, again, as we prepare to make this offer, is I'd just like you to really revisit those questions that I asked last week in terms of focusing on your niche. So getting really clear on who it is that you're helping and how it is that you're helping them. And if I give you here a couple of examples of two women who in the Australian industry who are dealing with weight loss, but are dealing with it in completely different ways. So we've seen the Betty Rocker. This is a couple of women in the Australian space. So we've got the lovely Sarah Wilson, who talks all about sugar and how it inflames us and how we can reduce weight by reducing sugar. She's offering there a complete 8-week detox program and cookbook. And then we've got Michelle Bridges, who's also offering weight loss through training and eating and mindset. So it's interesting. Here we have two women working in the weight loss niche, but a completely different approach from both of them that is resonating with their audiences. Both of these women are extremely successful in their niches. And when we look at this, we see that what they're offering is authentic to them. So Sarah Wilson, that's her style, and Michelle Bridges, if you've seen her on television or I've seen her speak at a conference, she's fantastic. That's her style. It's just this energy alignment there's an energy that's very aligned for both of these women in how they're presenting themselves to the market here. So if we look at Sarah in terms of I Quit Sugar, if she's offering here, this is her website, and it's a very female-oriented website. It's very in alignment with contemporary styles of websites that women would be looking at for recipes and so on. But she's got very prominently here, quit sugar for good with our 8-week program. So that's the offer that she's making to people. So all of the other things that she's offering there around the recipes, the blog, the experts, and so on and so forth, all of those things are her value adds to encourage you to then come along and buy her program and her recipe books and so on. And she has other things for sale in her store. Now, in terms of her offer, her free offer, I just wanted to highlight here, this is her opt-in. So when we're talking about making an offer, as you create this offer, you're going to be thinking about what it is that you're wanting to sell. But the process for you to make a sale is to, particularly in the online space, is to give people something for free so that they will then give you their email address. This is what's known as creating an opt-in. It's often called a lead magnet, but basically it's a free gift, as Sarah's saying here. It's a free gift that you get when you sign up to her database. It's a thank you basically to you for giving her your email. Now, what that means is that you are then on her mailing list, and she can then communicate with you very regularly in terms of her offers and other things that she's doing. So in online marketing, there's a lot of value in having good quality, a good number of people on your list and really selling to them in a regular way, in an appropriate way as well, but in a regular way. So this is just an example on her website that this pop-up is this is her free gift, and this pops up. So, and I'm going to be talking about opt-ins later on in the course, but I'm just wanting to highlight this here, that there's the offer. If we go back, Sarah has her 8-week program, which is what she wants you to buy. But the beginning of her journey, so say I've just come onto her website for the first time, the beginning of my journey with her could be signing up for this free gift. So I haven't put my hand in my pocket yet, but I have given her my email address, so I have given her something. And then the plan is that she will then email to me now that I'm on her list, and those emails, there'll be value-added emails, but there will then also be emails that will encourage me to buy her 8-week program. So I hope that makes sense. So this is something that I'm going to be talking about in the next week or so, but this is about creating what we call as a value ladder. So we come in, the customer journey generally starts where I might know of somebody, Then I get onto their mailing list for that free item, and then they progress me up their value ladder to sell me different things. It's a very standard practice, and it's the way things are done. Here is Michelle Bridges' offer in terms of become your best in just 12 weeks. So save $40 with the upfront payment. So join now. So she's got a video there, and then she's got some really, capable, fit women who have obviously done her program. So again, this is her offer. There's probably, for me here, probably sounds to me like when I look at this, her major objection has been cost of payment, cost of the program. So she's dealing with that upfront by saying save $40 and with our $199 upfront payment. So weekly payments also available. So I'd say what she's found is that women want to do her program, but their major objection is it's costing me too much upfront. And basically then this is how she has got around that by actually offering weekly payment plans. And this would be very typical for women in this demographic. As women, we're less likely to spend money on ourselves. We're probably more likely to spend money on our families, our kids, our husbands, other things, and then our spending will come last. And certainly it's been my learning in terms of developing products is that weekly payment plans, and this is a learning of my clients as well, weekly payment plans are really powerful. So it's something you might want to think about if you're developing an online course in the future. So I've been speaking about this thing called an offer. Let me share the formula with you. I'm going to just cover the overall structure first, and then I'm going to be speaking about the specifics of this. So what's the structure of an offer? Well, it basically has 4 elements. So a how-to. And the reason that we start with how-to, because this is one of the most common search terms in Google. We're all looking for ways to solve our problems. So a how-to introduction is a really perfect way to do that. The second element of the offer is what I call creating the prize, but really that's the solution. What your audience wants more than anything. So in your audience survey work, you would have been asking, what's bothering you most and what would a solution look like? What would the solution look like? Now, the answer to that question goes here. What your audience wants more than anything. The third element of a good offer is to create a specific, reasonable time frame to achieve that prize or that outcome. So if we remember Betty Rocker's, it's a 30-day weight challenge, body weight challenge, and she's also saying it only takes 15 minutes a day. So she's being very specific and reasonable about that time frame. And then the fourth element is to negate major objections. So again, if we go back to the Betty Rocker example, her offer is, lose weight in 30 days. So spend 15 minutes a day, no equipment required. So the major objection for her, she would have found for her audience, is that they probably are dealing with overweight issues. They may not feel comfortable going to a gym. They may not have been near a gym or any form of sporting activity for years, and they may not feel comfortable in those, or they might not feel comfortable in those environments for whatever reason, but they don't particularly want to go to those areas. If they're dealing perhaps with overweight, they may not want to go out of the house to be exercising. So she's saying this is something you can do in the comfort of your own home with no equipment required. So she's making it as easy as possible for people. So in terms of the specifics, there are some real specifics here to write this aligned offer that is going to draw your perfect customer to you. So you really need to understand your audience, which is what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks with your audience surveys. And you need to understand what you can do for them that will transform their lives. So what is it that you can do that will transform their lives, and really focus in on that. And here, what I would recommend that you do is access your business and offer roadmap. And there are some specific questions and a specific outline that you can follow to create your offer. So you'll take this material that I'm covering today in the class, and then you'll look at your business and offer roadmap, and you'll see I've got those questions aligned there for you. But as you're developing your offer, you need to know about your audience. This is why audience research has been such a core part of the program so far. You need to be really specific with your offer as well. So rather than trying to solve a million problems, as I said earlier, just be specific and just choose one and solve that really, really well. So going back now to your audience research, I'd like you to really look at, ask yourself these questions. What's bothering your audience most? And what is the specific solution that they're looking for? If you've asked those questions, and if you've asked the magic wand question, you should have some answers to that question. And then the next element is for you to then respond to this question. What is the transformation you are offering your clients? What is the big shift that you are offering them? And this is a really, really key thing, so that you're very clear on, you know, how you're solving that specific problem for them. And you may have gone, what I'd like to say here is that you may have gone into your audience research thinking, well, I think will be my service and this is what I'll be offering my audience. And your audience research may actually be showing you something else, that they need help in another area. And that area is hopefully still going to be in your same skill set. I'm sure it is if you've been asking questions in your general, you know, your subject area. But just be open to the fact that your audience may be showing you something or saying something to you that might be a little bit different in terms of what you might have thought you'd be offering them. And that's okay. This is the perfect time to be realizing that and going, okay, great. I can then shift my offer, morph my offer a little bit to really tailor to their needs. And then the next question to ask yourself is, what objections might your client make about your offer? Now, you may not have asked this question specifically, but if you just sit for a moment in your audience's shoes, and if you really just close your eyes and just think about, okay, who's this person? What are their issues? What are their concerns? What are the things that they are likely to say that might be objections? So, and again, we know they're around the time, effort, money. So we need to think about, you know, about what those objections might be, and then you can think about how you might respond to those. And recently I've actually done some one-on-one sales training with one of my clients, and we've specifically sat down together and he said, these are the objections I'm getting. And we've brainstormed and actually physically voice recorded the responses to those objections, so that he's really clear about what he's going to be saying when he gets those objections on a client call or in a meeting. So our formula, so that's the structure. Let me now just show you then the formula. So a simple offer formula is how to solve the problem or address the issue that you found in your research in less than, so a time frame, without, and then dealing with any objections you've got. Now that's a very simple formula. You might find that you might reorder that a little bit. You might deal with the objections up front, but this is a simple formula that I find works really, really well. So to give you some examples, this is a couple of clients, there's a couple of my client examples. So how to stop feeling stressed, that's an issue that was revealed in their research. Create some me time, which was an issue or solution, and feel more healthy and calm. Another issue and solution, I'm not feeling healthy, I'm not feeling calm, in 60 minutes a week, so that's a specific time frame, without working up a sweat. So the objections are that the audience is feeling low energy. So this is for one of my clients who runs a yoga studio. So she found that the biggest issue for her clients was stress and no me time, and feeling very guilty about taking time away from the family. And as a result of sort of this residual, you know, and these are ladies in their 30s and 40s, as a result of feeling, you know, not doing exercise for a while, they feel quite low energy. So they don't feel they're going to go out and, you know, train for a half marathon or anything like that. So we're dealing with that objection there. The next one is for the beautiful Louisa Garcia, who's at one of our amazing alumni of Authentic Offers. And so it's how to experience amazing family connection, which is a solution, and get happy real life photographs, another solution. You'll be proud to show your friends in a solution in a few hours, which is a reasonable time frame, without feeling stressed and awkward in front of the camera. So Louisa's ideal client is a woman in her 30 to 50s. She's or probably in her 30s in terms of younger family photos, but ranging up to women in their 50s. Basically people who are wanting family photographs but feel quite stressed. Louisa says her clients feel quite stressed about getting the family together and everyone having a nice time, and you know, kids not being too fractious. And she said the other issue that her clients will say, well, I don't really want photographs taken of me. I don't feel very awkward. And that's because, you know, her client, she said, you know, her clients sometimes, you know, they've aged, they've put on some weight, so they don't feel as good as they used to in front of the camera. And where Louisa comes from as she's an amazing photographer, and where she comes from in terms of her authentic offer is that she really is able to generate a really beautiful, loving energy in a photo shoot. And she's done 3 photo shoots plus my wedding for my family. She's done 3 family photo shoots plus my wedding. And she's just got this amazing ability to generate this feeling of calm and ease, but also fun and enjoyment. And it's that comes out. So and she creates these people have actually a great time when they're there having their photos taken, and that's been our experience with her. So this is her offer statement. And then this is another one for one of my clients. So this is around a meal planning service. So how to reduce mealtime stress and create nutritious meals. Hang on, Lucy. Sorry, everyone. I was quieten her down a little bit. Shh. I have to go outside now. Sorry, everyone. So this one here is how to reduce mealtime stress and create nutritious meals your whole family will love, because this service is aimed at busy working mums who feel very guilty about getting nutritious meals on the table, have a lot of stress about making sure the kids are healthy, eating well, and then they have fussy eaters. So how to reduce mealtime stress and create nutritious meals your whole family will love in 40 minutes or less. So how to do this on a weeknight when it's very busy without using packaged or processed foods. So these are women who want their children to eat, or their family to eat well, and they think the only way that you can eat in 40 minutes or less would be to have packaged or processed foods. So their objections is, well, I couldn't do this because it wouldn't be healthy options, but this service does offer that. So what I wanted to say here is you can use this technique for your introductory opt-in or free gift that I've just explained, all the way through to your high-end programs. You can use this, and in fact, you should be using this technique every single time. So one of the things that I also wanted to say was that in terms of the wording that we're using, you might think some of these are a bit long. The way that Louisa would perhaps speak this, so this is in the written format in terms of what she would perhaps write down on her website. The way she would say this would be more simpler in spoken English. So she would say something like, I help people, I help people get amazing family photographs that they're proud to show their friends and we do this in a few hours, and everyone feels very happy in front of the camera, and they look great. We get great results that people are very proud to show their friends. So that would be the more simple, the spoken language that I would use to do that. But in terms of developing your offer, this is a really good process to go through, and you can see now how we've been working through the audience research and why we asked the specific questions that we did so that we could get that on board. So yes, as I said, this is a technique I'd encourage you to use for your opt-in all the way through to your high-end programs. Now, another thing that you might like to do, and this is something you could do perhaps when you're doing Facebook ads or in other areas, is you may actually want to call out your audience. So entrepreneurs, and this is actually one that I made up because I couldn't find one that I wanted to, but I thought I'm the avatar for this. So entrepreneurs, how to reduce neck pain and headaches from computer work in less than 5 minutes a day without drugs or constantly visiting a practitioner. So time poor and health conscious. So that's something that I've experienced with neck pain and headaches in the past. I actually fortunately don't get it as much as I used to, and probably because I'm doing better exercises now and taking more breaks. But this, you can see here how this could be a very appealing kind of offer for those of us who are working online. So there's our simple offer statement: how to state your issue or solve your problem in less than, without. So how to whatever the issue is in less than, and provide a time frame without, and dealing with those objections. So let's talk now about dealing with objections. How do we do that? As I said to you earlier, the major objections are time, money, and effort. And I can't give answers to everybody in terms of how you're going to deal with all of the objections for your specific program or your specific product or service, but I can just talk here specifically, give you a case study here about how we can do that. So this is a project that I'm working on with one of my clients, Paul Palella from Brisbane Buyers Agency. So he's looking at a program for generally new home buyers who can't afford his high-ticket product. And basically, his offer is 5 steps to confidently buy your first property, set up your financial future, and avoid buyer's remorse. So those are the things that we know that first-time buyers want. They want to be able to confidently buy. They want to be able to have know that they're on the right track for their financial future. And he said one of the big issues is when people buy homes, especially their first home, they have some fear that they've bought badly or they haven't bought in the right place, and so on and so forth. So that's the offer that he's making. Now, the objections that young people would have, or first-time buyers would have, would be the cost to cost to buy the home for a start, but also cost to use a program of Paul's, the lifestyle changes that they might have to make in terms of buying a home, and the time that it would take them. So those are big things that are on their minds in terms of buying the first home. So Paul's response to that and how he deals with those objections. So if we just look at the ... section, he says within 3 months, so that's a doable time frame. People aren't going to get too worn out by looking for a home within a 3-month time frame, and without sacrificing your lifestyle long term. So really, he will show them a way to buy a home that means that they can buy appropriately for their budget, and then they can then up level their home purchases as they get older and make more money. Now, and he said here, avoiding buyer's remorse. So he's dealing with that. It's almost an objection as well as a solution. So he's really taken on board those things as a particular dealing with those objections. So again, I can't specifically tell you what your responses will be to your objections, but what I would say to you is that for you to just think about, well, how would I answer that question if I know I'm regularly asked a question like or a comment comes, that's too expensive, or that is too much effort or whatever. Think about how you would deal with that objection and put that into our Facebook group and brainstorm that, kick that around with a few of us. I really encourage you to use the Facebook group to do that. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the course, and when just do put that into the Facebook group. We're always pleased to answer questions for people. Now, one of the things that we can also help to deal with our objections, though, is add something special to help our customers buy from us today. So what would help them say yes? Well, the first thing is offering some bonuses, but those bonuses need to be aligned to your original offer. They need to be very clear and simple and easy to use, and they can be, clever. They could cleverly support the original offer that the core offer that you're making. So bonuses could be, extra access to video modules. It could be, access to you, and so on. The other thing that you can do is also put a limit on things. So whilst you might be giving some bonuses, you could also put a limiter on things. And what this does, this deals with the human psychology of scarcity. We all respond when there is an issue around scarcity, and we typically want to go in and make sure that we can get our share of that. And that's why when you see, when there's perhaps potential for a natural disaster, everyone goes into the shops and buys all of the water and the food and the batteries, because that's the scarcity mentality coming out. Everyone's going to get their share so that they don't miss out. So it's very real and alive in our culture, in our psyche. So it's something that when we're authentic, again, I would say use this in an authentic way. Don't limit things unless you truly can limit them. So you could limit things like access to yourself. There could be a time limitation. So this offer is only available until the 30th of October. So you're making it a date-oriented limitation, or it could be quantity. It could be so only 10 spots available or only 3 spots available. What I would say here, though, and with all of these extras that you're offering, please be in integrity with them, and please make sure that if you are limiting, then you truly must limit. So you can't say today there's only 10 spots available and then suddenly the program has 20 spots on it. That's not an integrity with your offer, and it would make people distrust you in some ways. So whatever limitation you put on, you'll need to stick with that. And speaking from experience, sometimes I'll put a couple of limiters on and I've gone, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, but I learnt for next time. So just being clear about what you're limiting and making sure that you're very you're in integrity with that. The next element is to just demonstrate high value with your offer. So your price, you'll need to get a sense of the price, what your market's willing to pay. And you might want to do some soft soundings around that. You might ask a few people who perhaps you've done the surveys or the interviews with, what would you be willing to pay for a service like this? People will tell you. Go into Facebook groups and ask that question. People will be actually willing to say, yes, I'd pay this. And I regularly respond to those questions when I'm in Facebook groups and I see people ask those questions. Access to you can be considered a very high value. Time with you or time availability can be considered a very high value. And then the other very key thing here is testimonials. please, 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 please make sure that you have gathered testimonials for your product or service, and that you demonstrate them really clearly and upfront in your sales process, because it really, really is essential to show that others have bought from you and that others have had success with you. Now, if you are new in your business, and if you haven't been operating for very long, then I would suggest that you provide some freebies to some people, some free consults or whatever the services that you offer and you say very clearly up front, I'd like to give you an experience of my service. What I would love back would be a testimonial from you, and if appropriate, a review on my Facebook page or on Google and so on. So really, again, there's an energy exchange. I really don't like anyone ever offering anything for free. There needs to be some form of energy exchange there. So with your testimonials, they're really, really valuable, because the research shows that 92% of us will buy based on other people's recommendations. But we don't need to know that other person. We'll just buy based on that recommendation. So it's a really significant thing for you to bring into your marketing. And I would really encourage you, if you haven't been collecting your testimonials, to really start doing that. The next thing you can offer is guarantees. So if you feel extremely solid in your offering, which I'm sure you do, being an authentic marketer, if you feel very clear that you know that you will get these people, provided that they follow through the steps of your program or your offer, they will get results, then I would recommend offering a guarantee and a money-back guarantee. And I offer a 60-day money-back guarantee for this program because I really believe in its value, and I know that it's a really significant benefit to people's businesses. So when you can feel solid and very clear about the quality of your offer, then absolutely make that guarantee for people. It's just, again, this helps it become what is called, and I don't like this term, but it helps it become, it's called a no-brainer sale. I think I would like to say, more of a facilitated sales process. So if we have a look at Paul's program, the Smart Buys Kickstart, the kind of bonuses he's looking at offering are things like some time with him in a personal consult, a couple of training videos that are extra to what's in the core program, and then a tax depreciation report, which is again can be a nice an assistance with tax. So he sees where he can actually provide some bonuses that are really relevant to the core program, but that his audience are going to really like. So what I would encourage you to do is to think about the bonuses that you could offer with your program, and that could make a difference to helping people say yes to you today. So in terms of what we're doing, I've really sought, because I know there is quite a bit of work going on behind the scenes with the audience research. So today's step is really to analyze your audience research to create your offer, your broad offer. And what I'd like to say there is, think about, this is the offer that you want to sell. So whatever it is that the program, it could be the program or the service that you're wanting to offer, really focus on that. But you might also like to use this formula that I've given you today to make your first freebie, or what we call opt-in. So if we go back to the Sarah Wilson example, so her program is Quit Sugar for Good with our 8-week program, Time to Find a Lighter, Healthier, Happier You. So that's all some pretty nice things she's offering there. And then her freebie was a free gift, and it's a bit hard to read, but it says a day in the life of quitting sugar. So she's effectively, and this is a clever freebie, because what it is, it's giving you an insight into what the I Quit Sugar program is all about. So I get to really, really get a sense of what that program will be like by actually getting that free gift. So that's a really clever free offer, and something that's very much in alignment with the program she's wanting to sell. So as I said, those are the things I'd like you to do, is to just take your audience research to create your offer, look at your language that you're going to use there, and consider the offer you will make with your first freebie or opt-in if you're working in the online space. The other thing too is when you're thinking about your broad offer, think about the objections you're going to do. Thinking about your objections is going to be part of this process. So I want you to, this week, just sit down and brainstorm, what are the objections I'm likely to get, and there's a place for this in the business and offer roadmap, and you can have a look at that there. In fact, I'll bring it up now. I'll just show you where that is so that you can write that in there. So that's a wrap on today's material. I've kept this week very streamlined, just focusing on getting this audience research finished and into creating our offer so that we can then be really, really, have these things in place before we go to the next stage of the program. So I hope that that's been useful. And I'll just press pause now while I bring up the spreadsheet to show you. Resume recording. Alrighty, so this is just the business and offer roadmap. So by now you've hopefully downloaded this, you've made it your own. So you'll put your name in here, and then your audience research will be coming in here for you. And then this is where we're going to talk about the transformation. So this is where you get to answer these questions. So after your avatar has experienced XYZ solution, they will feel, and this is where you're going to start putting in some benefit statements. So this is where from your audience research, you'll be putting in some of the information that you've found out. So and this is important, we've got the feeling question and what she'll have. So how she'll feel and what she'll have, which is more physical, what she'll have physically. So more, and I might just put that in there, what she'll have physically. Here's one physically. More flexibility and strength, and her day will change. So she'll feel she's got had the time she needs to focus inward and become more calm, grounded, and centered. So this is the transformation piece that I'm talking about. So what I've covered today in the class, this is where you'll actually be doing that work in this business and offer roadmap. Then here we then go to objections. So what objections might our audience make to the offer? So it could be time, motivation, could be money. You could put in your own here. And what I'd like you to do is to put in your responses to that. So what you would say around money, what you'd say around time, motivation, and so on. Now, here's a couple of extra elements that I'd like to just run through with you. So then there's just a couple more here today we're going to deal with. So how do you respond to your audience's pain and issues? So how can you empathize with them? So for example, this is an example here. When I started yoga, I was dealing with some difficult issues and I didn't know how I could calm my mind. So this is where, we spoke during the week in the Q&A about how we're our own ideal client or our own audience avatar. We've walked in the shoes of our clients that we're now helping. So this piece is really useful because this is part of the story that when you're talking to your clients, this is what makes you very relatable. When you say, yes, when I started out, or when I started using this product, or when I started using this service, I had some issues too, and I found it difficult, but this is what I found helped me. And that's why I'm showing you this today. So, but what happens here is as you're sharing your experiences and your vulnerabilities, you're becoming very real and relatable to people, and they're just going, wow, she's just like me. If she can do it, then I could do it, or I should be able to do it because she's got the steps to show me how to do that. And here is and this is sort of, I guess, the not the flip side, but the support to that is this guidance and authority piece. So what do you know? I must make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. What do you know that can guide and assist your avatar? So what do you know from that journey and experience, and how you can help people here? So, I've learned, so the response here would be something like, I've learned from my own practice of yoga how, whilst, it was, you could say something along those lines, while it was perhaps confronting at first to learn the new poses, when I got support with that and learned how to do the poses, I started feeling a lot more energy and a lot more vibrant, and that I was sleeping better. So you're actually speaking from your own experience, and you can then say, I've now gone ahead and got my yoga teacher training, and so I'm very clear about what's best in terms of developing a very sound yoga practice, and I take you through all of the core poses and teach you those so that you can feel very confident in that. Because an objection in the yoga space is, I don't know how I could learn the poses, and I feel a bit nervous and a bit unconfident about going in front of a class to do that. So that's how you would deal with that objection. So what we're looking then to do here is in this worksheet is for you to then do a summary. What is the transformation you're providing in a nutshell? So it could be from feeling stressed, busy schedule, no time for yourself, as well as maybe dealing with health issues, to feeling, whatever solutions you're offering, more comfortable in your own skin, peaceful and calm, feeling good about yourself and knowing yourself better. She's got more clarity about her life, her relationships with her partner and family, and more positive outlook. So that's almost by working with you and giving you a solution, this is the benefits that she's going to get. So if you like, this is the nutshell. This is everything you've worked on so far in the business and offer roadmap, right from the beginning here, all the way down. This is the nutshell. It's almost like that's the walnut. Everything is in that walnut shell there. And then what we do, here we are, is your offer statement. You actually then can, from this, you can craft your offer statement. So how to, so you can in the time frame. And you could, that should probably, we'll put in there without, and then put in the objections there. So basically, that is the summary of how you'll get there. So how to stop feeling stressed and last on the list and start feeling more healthy, calm, peaceful, and joyful in just 60 minutes a week. So, and you see here, I'm using language that is not high level language, but it's language that is going to resonate with the audience. So with this client, her avatar said, you know, I feel like I'm always last on the list. I've never had any time for me, the kids, and, you know, my kids come first, etc. So we're using language that they used, that they will use, and that will help them resonate. So I hope that that's useful. I don't want you to worry about any of the next. This is about material that we're going to cover in coming weeks. This is all I want you to worry about, is just to have a look at your filling in your audience research, coming here, looking at your objections, how you can empathize and how you can guide, transformation in a nutshell, and then your offer statement. So I hope that that has been a useful overview for you there, and to go into that business and offer roadmap. It's there. It's in your module 2. If you're not sure it is, it's in module 2, and you can just download it as a Word document. So I might stop my screen share now and just open up for questions if anyone's got any questions at all.
No, I'm just checking that I can get into module 2.
Good.
Now, after yesterday or the day before, you got me sorted again.
Yep.
No. You might have sent me a reset. I haven't checked that.
We have sent you a reset, so we'll do that. Josie, if it doesn't work for you, let me know again today. I'll send you another reset. Yeah. And if there's any issues, I'll just email you the documents. I'm sorry about that. There's just something there's been an issue in our back end. There's been a bug, and my assistant she's worked really hard to fix it. And I think it should have been fixed by now with that reset, but I just wouldn't mind just... She's done the best she can.
I'll go and check that after I get off. Yeah. And it'll be actually, I've got another meeting at 1:30, so after that I'll check it and then I'll let you know.
Yep.
But I think I actually managed to download the roadmap anyway before that happened. So now the other thing is, I'm not going to be here next week. I think I'm going to miss next week. And let me think. Oh no, it's the week after.
Okay.
It's the week after. So I'll be able to catch up at night maybe, but I won't be able to come through
through the day. All right.
No, I think that's really good. I think I've actually heard a lot more this time.
Oh, good.
Which I think, and it's sort of like, because I wasn't anywhere near being ready to formulate a service.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so this makes more, I can really hear it this time. It's quite
fantastic, Josie. Yeah, and what I have done this time is I've slowed it down a bit. I've actually and that's probably helped as well. Hey,
I've taken screenshots to help me to, grab some ideas for formulating that. So
beautiful. Yeah, and that's why I put so many in, so people can see themselves in different formats, and things can resonate. But it really is. Look, there's a discipline to this, as there is with everything that works well. And if you can, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible, and I have just kept this week just focusing on the offer. Last time
I reckon it's good. It's a manageable amount of information today.
Good.
And that roadmap now, it's still giving me a lot to do, but I feel that I can accomplish it.
Yeah.
Because it's really focused on the actual offer. That's it.
Good. Yeah, that's it. And that's all we're worrying about today.
Yeah, I really like that. I think it's been a really good bite-sized piece of information.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm really glad about that. And look, and with this too, I would say to you is that you might have some questions. Well, what do I say about myself beyond that, and so on? We're coming to that next week with your key messages. So for those of you who haven't been through the program before, I just wanted to highlight, we are going to, next week we're going to talk about what you'll say about your broader business and so on and so forth. but I want you to see the connection between the value of your audience research and connecting that straight into an offer. That's, for me, a more logical flow. And my aim is to get you get your business really working well and get you making some money. And we make money by making an offer.
That'd be nice.
So that's exactly right. So that's my thinking. Next week, we're going to talk about key messages. I think I got a bit ahead of myself. I think you'll see the key message worksheet in Module 3, but it's actually for Module 4. I got a bit ahead of myself. But we'll talk about that next week.
There's one concern I have. Like I'm going to have to really look at my research really well. I've interviewed like 20 people or 19 people, and I know 2 people have said the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I think what they're saying is, so I asked 2 questions. I asked, what are the mindset or emotional concerns that you're identifying that are showing up in your business regularly? Or what your business, you're not making progress in your business and you don't know why. So I've asked them to identify which one of those relates most to them. So most of them have said it's a mindset or emotional thing. A few have said it's the other, and then proceeded to tell me about mindset and emotional things that have come up.
That's it. And that's it.
Yeah. Which is beautiful, because they didn't get the connection.
No.
So I think really I'm going to have to look at it like it's not a specific. They're not saying I'm procrastinating because I can't make decisions, or I can't make decisions because I don't know what I'm doing, or, they've all got different reasons, just as many reasons as there are people, Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to cause me to be a bit more creative about what does that all mean? What are they talking about? What's a nice way of describing that in a, do you talk about it as mindset, or do I talk about it as what's, stopping your progress, or, I need to find the nice words for that.
I think you raise a really good question. And I think, great. What you would do, it'd be more the symptomatic. So the mindset is the diagnosis. The mindset is if we were to look at this from a diagnostic perspective, mindset issues is the issue. Like broken arm is the issue. So say,
okay, so that's the problem. That's the diagnosis.
That's the diagnosis. Yeah. But the symptomology that they're telling you
what are the symptoms?
That's it. That's actually what you talk to them about. So if you're feeling stuck in your business, if you're feeling, and I think what's nice is your audience research has highlighted that they don't actually understand. They haven't said this. They've said, it's not a mindset issue. But then, as you said, they've gone on to then describe mindset issues, but they're symptoms of the mindset issues. So what you'll need to do in your offer is you'll need to talk about some of those symptoms. So of the mindset issue.
The symptoms are, I'm not making progress.
Very good.
Making progress in my business, and I can't figure out why. I've been in business 6 months and I can't make progress. And I'm like, okay.
Welcome to the world. That's right. Welcome to the world of business. But you're right. But see how if you're in a conversation, and I love your research. It's such a good teaching point, because they haven't said, I've got a mindset issue, but they've given you all the problems that they're facing. And that's the level, as an expert, this is mindset stuff. And I know how that's the diagnosis, but you've got to go in at the level where they're having the discussion, which is, I'm not making any progress. I've only been here for 6 months. I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling frustrated, whatever. That's the language you'll use in your offer. How to stop feeling stuck and frustrated. So if I was just to freeform for a minute, how to stop feeling stuck and frustrated as you're building your business, blah, 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 in blah. So you're going to identify those boom, 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 those core issues.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, because that's been sort of worrying me a little bit, like, how am I going to, but you're right. I've got to talk about I keep thinking to myself, I've got to talk about what they're experiencing.
Yes, you do.
Not what I know the problem is. And that's been my biggest hurdle, is jumping past the knowledge into what they're experiencing.
It's really, and it really is. And remember, I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again in the course. This is about want versus need. What do I want help with versus what I need help with? Want versus need. So What I want help with is my, you know, my business getting some traction and me moving forward and me feeling like I'm getting somewhere. You know, what I need is, well, you know, because you know from the discussion we've had that I need help with my mindset, for example. So Mary, for your context, people, you'll find in your survey what people saying they want help with, like lipstick bleeding or staying on or whatever. That's the language that you'll talk with when people about, you know, your solution is your product. You know, it's good, long wearing, long lasting, but you can't jump in and say, I've got this long wearing lipstick because or I've got this lipstick that's great and it does this. You've got to start, you've got to use the language that they are using to you. Yeah.
My lipstick's gone.
Yeah, my lipstick's gone. There you go. Lipstick's gone.
I can't wait to get my hands on the lipstick that you sell.
So we can all look good on our Facebook Lives. That's exactly right.
We can't hear you because you turned off Mary.
Oh.
She's muted.
I'll unmute her. I've unmuted her.
Okay.
I've just unmuted you, darling. It's all good.
Did you like that? Oh, there you go. Look at that. Sign language. So, what I'll do, ladies, is I'll send you one to try, and then maybe from that you can give me a recommendation or a review.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely.
Is that a good idea?
There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So,
you took a leaf out of the book of today's class. Very good. Yep.
It was so easy, wasn't it?
And
wow.
And put
yourself.
What I'll do is I'll contact you on your Facebook pages or private message you, and then you can just give me your address. I'll send it through with instructions on how to use it. But first of all, you can just tell me what colour you prefer. Like, are you a blue? Oh, not blue. Oh, we can have blue lipstick if you want to. Like, are you a red lady? Are you a pink lady? Are you a brown lady? Are you just like neutral?
Lovely. We can do all of that. So that's it. So, yes,
so I'll do that.
The idea of the testimonial is really, you picked that up there. So basically, this whole thing, this offer is about, using you're going to, and I want to just address one question you had earlier, one comment you made earlier, Josie, because I think it's really relevant for the group. With your audience research, I really encourage you to read it, really marinate in it, like read it 3 or 4, 5, 6 times, like really marinate in it, and then grab what I would do, because we all know that I'm a bit of a post-it fiend. Grab yourself some post-its and just write down what you see as the key themes, or grab a highlighter pen, whatever you need. I love my stationery, but just grab a highlighter pen and just start really highlighting some of those keywords, and then things you've highlighted, just underline if you're seeing it 3 or 4 times, because it's just through this marination and through this real, like, sleep on it, read it before you go to bed at night. Actually sleep on it would be a really good thing.
Good idea.
Read it up early in the morning, because all of it, it's just what we're wanting to do is, because your brain will then make some connections in that overnight process. You'll wake up in the morning and you'll have a lot more insights. So just really marinate in your audience research. And I know sometimes you go, oh my God, but they're all saying different things. You'll find there are themes. And I think and I do believe on the audience research worksheet, I have given you a space where you can actually highlight those themes. So let me just go and check and see if I can show you that.
That's really good, actually, because I can dedicate this weekend to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can.
Beautiful.
I'm doing my last interview tomorrow, and I've been reluctant to print it off because there's so much in it now. With those conversations, I got really a lot of information from each person.
So good.
So it's really valuable. So I just I didn't want to print it all off and then print it all off again.
No,
but
good point.
If I wait until Friday, I'm kind of getting really excited about going through it and learning what's there.
I'm really
good. Really, again, this time, my avatar, the right people have responded to it.
Yep. Yeah. Beautiful. No, that's really good, Jo. And you're right, just devoting some time. And the other thing I would do is marinate in it, but come back, go for a walk, come back. Just give yourself some space around it as well. I'm just trying to find, really wanted to find this document for you. I've got quite a few documents here. Anyway, I know in that in that worksheet. Why can't I find it?
Which one is it, Jen?
Well, I think it's I thought it was the audience insights. I'm pretty sure it's that. Have you got it? Can you put your hand on it there? I seem to have an old copy.
Yeah, I've got it.
Do you mind just sharing? Would you mind just sharing your screen for a minute just so we can have a look?
Understanding your audience and their needs. Okay, so this is my old one,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's okay. It's not my new one, but it's got the information.
Okay.
So
that's, could you mind just scrolling down? Maybe this is not the one I'm thinking of. Maybe this is coming up. Maybe what I'm going to do is I won't take your time now. I will, that's not the one I was thinking of. There is one.
No.
But I
Let's
will.
see what else I've got. I'll go into the module 2. Because I had key messages, no, the template, competitor analysis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put my hand on it, and then I'll just sort of highlight that to you, maybe in the Q&A. I'll highlight that to you and get it out to you, because it's just, but basically what it is, it's what you found with your themes. It's basically the key themes. But if you don't have that and you want to get going with it, just grab some Post-it notes, grab a pen, print it out, but really marinate in it, because it will make a huge difference to what you come up with. But again, with this offer, I guess my summary point for today is focus on what they want. Use their language, really get clear on what their issues are, and understand that you might know that they should need from A to Z, but in this first offer, just give them A. And then you'll then build on that. That's the other thing. It doesn't have to be, we're not completing Rome in this project. We're just one offer.
No, because that's the fair thing about the online world, isn't it? It's really specific. Otherwise, you just confuse people that don't hear you.
Has to be really specific.
Oh, I see it so often.
Yeah.
I see it so much, and I do it so much myself. I'm sure. Yeah.
Me too. I've been too broad, and it just doesn't get people in. So, yeah. So, well, that's all from me. Did anyone have any questions at all? Mary, did you have any questions at all? I see you writing furiously.
With my highlighter. I'm as bad as you. We've even got the same highlighter. Now, I just want to get on to writing some ads for my son's workshop, and writing some ads for me, but and so I can start generating some money. Yeah. So
use this formula,
and then
use
the formula, but also
this formula.
Use it to get myself up to Frio, and just start sell.
Yep. Beautiful.
But I think from what you've said, concentrate on one product.
Yes, please.
When I'm up there.
Yep. So you're just doing lipsticks on the market stall, or have you got other things?
I've got lipstick. I've got a really good body wash for when people are out in the outback, and when you get that really itchy skin from the calcium in the water and all the horrible stuff. That, and lip balm. I've got a really good lip balm, which is really good for guys when they're mustering. So because they come back, their lips are bleeding, they're just a mess. So a moisturizer. So that's all I'm going to concentrate on. Package them up nice, and then away I go.
Yeah, and see what works. Yeah, see what works. I mean, you'll know. No, I think just see what works. Look at the last couple of weeks, what's done well, and what hasn't, and just focus on really maximizing that. I think if you were because you're basically making mini offers with each of those products. On a market stall, you're making a mini offer. So just take what you can from this today. Maybe focus on one. Don't not sell the other things. I'm not saying that, but if you wanted to really sort of spend a bit of time between now and Sunday to actually write, well, what is it that I want to say? And Mary, you may be saying some of this stuff naturally. So just think about what is it that you say. Even grab your phone, do a voice recording, and just explain, listen to yourself in terms of how you would explain the product to someone, and see what you might pick up in that. Because I'd say if you've been doing quite well so far. Yeah, if you've been doing quite well so far, I'd say you're doing something very right. So we want to keep the good stuff and enhance it for you now through this process. So I would voice record, and that's what I did with my client the other day. We just sat down, and he said, I'm getting these objections and I don't feel I'm dealing with them. So we just sat down, brainstormed, and we literally just back and forth. And then he actually told me his content, and then I voice recorded how I would respond to that. And I've been working with him for 3 years, so I know his business very well. And I could actually be a sales rep for his business. And so I was able to just, to a certain degree, I could get people in the door, but I couldn't then deliver what he delivers. But basically, that's what we did. We voice recorded, and then he could hear it. He could hear himself, he could hear me, and then he's going to go away and then deal with those objections that way. So hopefully that's useful to you. So what I guess, Mary, what I would caution you is I'm sure you're doing some things well now. So just listen to what you're saying and enhance that. I would say that you're probably already doing some things quite well. But this technique will work well in your son's business and will be great for your Facebook ads as well. Really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah. All righty. Well, we'll call that a wrap for today. Joyce, did you have any other questions at all?
No, just some feedback about trying to get into the site, but I can give you that after you stop recording.
Yeah, I'll stop recording.